I'll say that I wanted to make a comment about DeShaun Watson. Okay, I see Biggie making a face. Yeah, I'm going to get out there on a limb on DeShaun. Here's what I wanted to say about it. He's been accused by multiple women of, they were giving him a massage, going way too far, making inappropriate advances, etc. Well, 20 of the women that had complaints against him settled with him this week because he's trying to get back on the field. He's the quarterback now of the Browns, and they just paid him $240 million. And I was discussing this with my hairstylist. And, he was like, you think DeShaun Watson's going to see the field because he's a Browns fan. And I didn't for this year. I don't think he will. But he settled. And here was my whole point. If you're a woman who's probably young and doesn't have a whole lot of money just yet, and you're a massage therapist, and DeShaun Watson makes inappropriate advances toward you, and then a year later he says, I want to make this go away, here's $2 million. That's pretty tempting to take it, don't you think? You don't have any money.
It is, and our attorney, Lisa Lanier, has said time and time again, going to court is messy and unpredictable.
Exactly.
And expensive.
So you avoid all that. So when 20 women settled with him this week, and a few others said, no, I'm taking it all the way. And I said, if I were one of those women, I'm sure I would just take the money. Because you're at a point in your life, you're in your probably 20s, I would guess. You don't have that much money. I mean, you're certainly not a millionaire.
We've not seen any figures disclosed.
No, we haven't. But my guess was if it's north of $1 million, I think you take it. Don't you think?
Well, it's all monetary if it goes to court, right? There's no jail time or anything like that, right?
I'm not sure about that.
I mean, because
he's never been he's been investigated, and there's never been a criminal charge.
Because to a victim, that might make a difference. If it's just money, then yeah, you can settle. But if they want him to do some time, then they may sit there and say, I'm going through with it because I want him to serve 6 months.
Well, that's my whole point, though. If you're a young woman and a guy like DeShaun Watson does that to you, and I'm sure at first you're like, I'm mad as I can be, and I'm joining all these 30 women who are accusing him, you want to see him do some jail time. But then, after it's been a while, and you realize it's going to be messy, and some lawyer comes to you and said, oh, by the way, Mr. Watson's going to give you $2 million if you just don't drop it. I'd drop it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You've got your principles and all, but and you were a victim, you were attacked, but it's $2 million and you're 25 years old.
I think that happens a lot where they take the money, but then later,
regret?
15 years down the road, they come out and say, I regret
taking the money.
Yeah, I let him go unpunished.
That's right.
I wanted to see my assailant punished.
It just appeared to me like a light bulb went off over my head. It's like, oh, I see why you do
Is he putting some tonic on your head? Or?
Barbara of Seville.
He was doing.
I'm going to trim up them sideburns for you.
I said to him, I was like, a light bulb just went off over my head.
Yeah.
No wonder these women take it. They don't want to go through the hassle.
And I bet the people in their lives are probably saying,
take the money.
Yeah, do you really want to be drugged through court? Do you want to do you really want to you can take this $2 million and change your life.
And that's a guess on how much it is.
Yeah.
But if it was something like, I bet it's higher than $1 million. And if it is, I do. I
thought less. I figured he offered them all $500,000.
Oh, I thought. Well, I don't know, but I thought more than because he just signed a guaranteed $240 million contract, which means he makes about $30 million a year. So he's spending if there's 20 women that settle. So if he spends $40 million, that is what 15% of that contract, and then he's done. It's behind him.
$1 million is going to guarantee you more of a settlement than
$500,000.
500. Yeah, making somebody a millionaire is a big deal.
I agree. And if you get $1 million, or certainly $2 million at age 25, let's just say that's what these women are, you can make that last the rest of your life. You can, if invested properly. I think
you say that many times.
I think you can invest that properly and make that last the rest of your life.
But if he goes out and does it again later, 3, 4, 5 years later, and violates somebody, and they're like, well, he had a history of this, and then these females' names come out later, and they're like, well, yeah, I settled with him, and they didn't.
They regret.
They regret because they didn't make him go do the time, and they feel guilty about it later. This might be worth bringing
up with Lisa.
I think I will. That's exactly what I would do, though. Don't you think in that position, if you're a young woman, you don't want to go through all that,
and money talks,
and $2 million or $1 million is sitting there for it, just take it. Yeah. That's what I would do. That's what I would be thinking. I also had a comment.
On the other hand, a lot of people look at that as an admission of guilt on the part of DeShaun.
Well, sure, but and I don't think what he wants to do.
He has claimed he's innocent from the start.
But
he wants to make it go away.
He wants to make it go away, and what he'll say is, I'm sure, on advice of my attorneys, this was the route we took, but I am absolutely innocent of all these charges. And they'll have some non-disclosure agreement where they can't talk about it anymore. Don't you think? They'll have to.
Yeah, there's money in it for everybody. DeShaun gets his money when he can get out there and play and make his, the victims get their money, the lawyers get their money.
I also had a thought on Arch Manning. Okay.
Save it for the next haircut.
Boy, is that your pedicure?